911. Nashville didn't feel like a drama about first responders from the beginning. It seemed like a mockery of first responders, with no repercussions for their hasty decisions or actions. The best thing that has happened to this program, in my opinion, is Blue's collapse in Season 1 Episode 5, Lost Children. However, it ought to have continued longer. Additionally, Roxy and Taylor are now more than just supporting characters with their own arcs. When they discovered an unconscious girl in a river, Roxy in particular had time to examine some of her own experiences. Additionally, the show makes it abundantly evident how close Roxy and Taylor are. It's time to provide us with more of them. Ultimately, viewers of 911, Nashville won't be able to relate to fire tornadoes or bizarre incidents like a trailer becoming stranded on a bridge. The characters in the show are what they will relate to. Additionally, these figures are currently acting carelessly with the lives of the people they're trying to save, giving the impression that they are not from our planet. Give me space for depth and all the repercussions. While you're at it, you might want to slow down and give things some breathing room. Because I believe that Blue's crash out was a really wise choice to advance the plot and give some of these suppressed feelings a chance to surface. However, I do believe that everything was resolved far too quickly in a single episode. After that, I'm left wondering what 911 Nashville is all about, since it has nothing to do with crises. It has nothing to do with the consequences. However, it's also not about relaying compelling stories about first responders. What is it about, then? Despite having quite different upbringings, Ryan and Blue have come to the same conclusion. It's also time for Blue to stop using his poor little Olmi, who is a loser and loves to struggle mentality, as a justification for his inability to progress or his current state of mind. These brothers are both at the firehouse, despite the fact that I detest the nepotism plot that brought Blue there. Additionally, Ryan has made the significant decision to embrace his brother for who he is rather than what he believes him to be. It is quite different from how Ryan behaved at the start of 911 Nashville to see him make way with Blue. And who wouldn't be angry? It is a grave treachery to conceal a complete brother. However, I believe Ryan may be feeling a little more upbeat, particularly now that he and his spouse are retrying their marriage. However, there is still animosity because Blue's upbringing has made him closer to Dawn than to Ryan. I just wish the acting was a little bit better and Blue wasn't such a flat character. But let's go back to what I said about Ryan before. The decision to add a novice fireman to the crew is made by just one individual, and Dawn is that individual. Let's avoid blaming Blue for this and linking it to privilege. Due to boo-hoo. Ryan, you were wealthy as a child. You now sound like Blue with his I'm poor and love to struggle one-dimensional character building bricks. So go be depressed about it somewhere else. Additionally, because Blue is still the poorest character on the program, let's avoid having to defend him. We've been hoping to see more of Roxy and Taylor on 911 Nashville for weeks, since I am aware that this cast is an ensemble. However, this sitcom took great delight in being set in one of the most diverse American cities. Additionally, it wasn't until Lost Children that they were given a purpose other than serving as backdrop for the development of the Blue and Hart family drama. All they have to do now is go a little bit farther and work on some of the details we discovered about Roxy and Taylor. The incident involving the girl they discovered in the river particularly affected Roxy. Although we were aware that she was a surgeon prior to this, it was wonderful to witness her working alone with Taylor. Finding just a little bit about her upbringing and escape to New York City was also quite fascinating. Better yet, it was wonderful to see her and Taylor simply spending time together. And by being, I mean supporting one another by going to $25,000 treatments together or bringing each other coffee. However, I do believe that some of the disclosures regarding Roxy were a little disappointing. The show depicted what may have been an examination of Roxy's previous trauma in a way that was reminiscent of your parents trying to scare you away from the big bad city and the repercussions of leaving your family. In other words, this show is delivering more and more virtue signals while ignoring real grief or repercussions.